Okay, good evening, everyone. As we are dedicated tonight, especially by Yitzi Muller, in honor of the chasana of his children, Zevi, his son Zevi, to Chaya Charna, the Zivik should be Oile Yofazain, and that they should have Nachas, and they should be a Baina Bayis Nema B'Yisrael. We also want to learn specially for Chaver Adaf Mo Kushner, who called me today that he's going in for a surgery tomorrow. Moshe Yitzchak Halevi ben Nechama, he should have a refuah shalema b'seich sheichel Yisrael. We also want to learn, dedicated by A.B. Spry, for the safety of the troops and for all of Klal Yisrael, by Shimon Klein, Lili Nishmas Asher Anshel ben Yehuda, and Gittel Bashim and Pinchas, Irving Fishbaum, Refuah Shalem for Issa ben Rezel, and Eliezer ben Rezel, and for Meir ben Chaya Sarah. We are holding, as we welcome in Saba, and we welcome in Yitzi Futz, Eddie Chazan, Stephen Holtzman, A.B. Spry, Baruch Ian, Dr. Udell, Dr. Guy, Mel Zachter, Sean Fogel, Yisrael Fisher, good to see you. Chaim Kramer, Chaim, it's good to see you. Wow. Nachman Chapler, Irving Fishbaum, Ilya Shutman, Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg, Rabbi Krantz, Shelley Zeitman, Chaim Braun. As we are holding, welcoming in Aaron Swade, Aaron gets in just in the nick of time, and we are holding two lines from the top of Daf Kuf Yud Ches Amud Aleph. Two lines from the top of Daf Kuf Yud Ches Amud Aleph. Hagoizel es chaveiroi. If let's say, let's say Eddie steals from Abi, oy shehel ve'imenu, or he takes from him alone, oy shehifkid loi, or if Abi gives Eddie a deposit, and he does so b'yishuv, he does so in a settled area, lo yazaloi b'midbar, so Eddie can't return it to him in the desert. Abi doesn't want to get it back, his deposit in the desert, the dangerous area. Almanas lotzeis b'midbar, however, if Eddie accepted the loan or the deposit on the condition to bring it out to the desert, then then he's allowed to return it to the desert. Now we'll see that sounds to be obvious, and the Gemara will clarify what the chiddush is over here. V'raminu, the Gemara asks, Milva alone, mishtalemes b'chol makom, can be repaid in any place. But avedo pikadon, a lost article or a deposit, a mishtalmin ela b'mekayman. You can only return it to the person's house. So here it says that a loan you could return in any place. Amar Abaya, no, hachi kamar. Milva, when a loan is due, nitla li tava b'chol makom. Abi, since he's the one that gave the loan and did Eddie a favor, he could ask Eddie to return it even to the desert. Avedo b'kadon, but a lost article or a deposit, you can't ask the person to bring it to the desert. You could only ask that it should be brought to the person's house. If he says, but if when he takes the loan, or when he takes the deposit, Eddie stipulates on the condition that he could bring it out to the desert, so the Gemara says, well, if Eddie stipulated and Abi agreed to it, pshita, that's obvious. Says the Gemara, it's talking about where Abi says to Eddie, let this deposit be by you, because I'm going out to the desert, And Eddie says, but you know what? I'm also heading out to the desert. So even though Eddie didn't stipulate clearly, I want to be able to return it there, if he meant to say, it's as if he meant to say, and we assume that if I want to return it to you when I'm there, I'll return it to you since we're both going out to the desert. As we welcome in Richard Rosenzweig and Pesach Siegelman and Berish Gesserman and Dr. Black and Shimon Klein and Moshe Lehman. Good to have everybody. Still waiting for the shul to hook up. We haven't seen the shul come in yet. Avram Rozepkowitz is coming in now. So we're getting all our shul people, but where's the shul? Okay, and hearty appetite, Mark. It's nice to have 29 Zoomers joining us over here. Now, next Mishnah. If Eddie, our criminal of the night, look at him drinking the hard liquor there, unbelievable. I never saw somebody drink liquor from such a big cup. Cup full of Southern Comfort. And Eddie is probably in the South, as a matter of fact. No?
I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm on my way back to Israel on Sunday again.
Well, it should be a safe trip, and I'm happy you're going home.
Me too. Thank you.
But when you leave, we miss you.
I miss you guys too.
Okay.
I get this.
So anyway, if Eddie tells Abi, Gezalticha, I stole from you, Hilvasani, I took a loan from you. Excuse me, no, the other way around. Yes, correct. If Eddie tells Abi, Gezalticha, I stole from you, Hilvisani, I took a loan from you, Hifgadita Etzli, you deposited something by me. But then Abi says, but I don't know if I returned to you what I stole, or if I didn't return it to you, if I paid you back the loan, if I gave you back the deposit. Chayiv l'shalem. Since Eddie agreed and admitted that he did it, and he's not sure if he paid it, so he has to pay it. However, but if Eddie says, im gezalticha, I'm not sure if I stole from you. Im hilvisani, I'm not sure if I loaned from you. If I'm not sure if you left me a deposit. And obviously over here, Abi is not saying anything. Says the Gemara, Potter Milishalom, as we welcome in Tzvi Apachinsky, who's joining us. Itmar. So now we're going to get into the subject of Bari V'Shema, where one says, I'm sure, one says, maybe. Itmar. Manali biyadcha. Abi tells Eddie, you have $100 of mine in your hand. And Eddie says, maybe. I'm not sure. So that's a case of Bari V'Shema. Abi says Bari, and Eddie says Shema. Rav Huna Reb Yehuda Imrei Chayiv. Rav Huna Reb Yehuda say that Eddie has to pay. Rav Nachman Reb Yochanan Imrei Potter. Rav Nachman and Reb Yochanan say Eddie is Potter. What's going on over here? Rav Huna Reb Yehuda Imrei Chayiv. Rav Huna Reb Yehuda say that Eddie is Chayiv. Why? Because Bari V'Shema. Abi says he owes the money. Eddie says he's not sure. So that's a case of one sure and one's a perhaps. Bari Yodif. And therefore Abi, who's sure, is superior, and Eddie has to pay. Reb Nachman Reb Yochanan Imrei Potter. Reb Nachman Reb Yochanan say, Potter, look, Abi has no proof. Obviously, if he had a promissory note, Abi has no proof. He wants to be Moitzi Mammon from Eddie without proof. We leave the money in Eddie's chazaka. Eddie likes money in his wallet. He likes it. It's very, very secure in his wallet. Eddie wants to take it out of his wallet. He has that proof. Tanan. So the Gemara says, let's turn to our Mishnah over here. Avolim amaloi, if Eddie says, Eini yodea im hivisani potter, I don't know if I took the loan. I don't know if I have your deposit. Now, hey chidami, what does AB say? If it's talking about where AB is making no claim, so Reisha Nami Deloy Tavale, in the Reisha where Eddie admits that he stole, but he's not sure, and AB is not making any claim. So if AB is not making any claim, and Eddie says he's not sure, why does he have to pay? Am I chayiv? Ella the Katavale. It must be that it's talking about where AB makes the claim. And yet, in the Sefer, where AB makes the claim, and Eddie says, look, I'm not sure if I took the loan, I'm not sure if I stole, I'm not sure if I had the deposit, Vikitani Sefer Patim L'Shalik. So that's a clear raya to Rav Nachman Rav Yochanan, that Bari V'Shema, Eddie doesn't have to pay, because and it's a kasha on Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda. So it says in Raloi, La'olam Deloy Katavale, where AB is not making a claim. If AB is not making a claim, so where Eddie admits that he stole, but he's not sure if he paid, so now it's a Shema V'Shema, because AB is not making a claim. Why is he chayiv to play? V'reisha b'balat seis yidei shemayim itma. B'balat seis yidei shemayim. If Eddie wants to do the right thing, since he admits that he stole, and he's not sure if he paid, so in order to be lot seis b'dei shemayim, he should pay. Itma nami am Rav Chia bar Abba am Rav Yochanan ha'omer l'chaveiro imona li b'yadcha, where AB says, you have $100 of mine, and Eddie says, I don't know, so there chayiv, he should pay it, but if he wants to do the right thing, because if he does owe the money, then by not giving it, he's not going to fulfill his requirements. So if he wants to do the right thing, but AB can't be mitzi it, because if he wants to do the right thing, he should pay. Now, next Mishnah. And remember, Rabbi said we're just starting off this evening because we have a Chumash here this evening. I wonder where everybody is in the shir from the shul, where Ruvain Shannon is, where Michal Avram is, where Gedalia Engel is. What's going on over here? Sandy Grunfeld has joined us. Good to have you. We have 32 Zumas here, Baruch Hashem. Without Marshall, without so many other people. Wow, look, there's a lot of people here tonight. Hagoinev Tlemina Eder. If, let's say, here we have an interesting situation. The world-renowned, his face is in many post offices, the world-renowned Eddie Chazan, who travels all over the country, he stole from AB. The question is, when he returns it to AB, does he have to let AB know that he returned it, or could he just slip it in the flock? You know, and does it make a difference if AB knew that it was stolen, or if AB doesn't know that it's stolen? Maybe if he knows, then he has to inform him he's returning it. If he never knew, then he could put it back. Or do we say that since Eddie stole it and took it outside, he has to tell Abi about it because the animal has already gotten a feel of wandering away. And therefore, Abi has to know that this animal has become klug, has become smart on getting outside. So let's see what Eddie's responsibility is besides eating. Let's see it inside. I'm very happy, by the way, Rabbi, so when people come on and eat, I don't want you to miss your supper and be hungry. I'd rather you stay here and eat and stay for the long haul. Triple crown tonight, Emir Hashem.
Thank you.
I am a little bit under the weather. I can't figure it out. I have a feeling maybe a little bit too much air conditioning in the car and outside. I have to speak a lot of times, Rabbi say, so have me in mind that I should get better quickly. Hagoynev tlem in a eder. See, here we have Eddie steals a sheep from the flock. Verziro, and he returns it to Abi's flock. Omeisoi nignav, and it dies or it's stolen before he informs Abi that he returned it. Chayev b'achriyusa. He is still responsible since he didn't inform Abi that he returned it. Lo yadu bailim, if however Abi didn't know, loy b'gnei vasai v'loy b'chazi rasai, he didn't know that it was stolen, he didn't know that Eddie returned it. Umanu es hatzayin. Now, it happens to be that Abi is a very orderly person, and he knows that he has 29 sheep in the flock. Umanu es hatzayin. And he counted the sheep, ushleimahi, and he saw that he had 29, it's pot. Now the Gemara is going to tell us many variables of what is the proper procedure. What it sounds like in the Mishnah is that if Abi knew about it, so that Eddie doesn't fulfill the responsibility to return it until he informs Abi, until he informs Abi. If Abi didn't know about it and Eddie returns it, as soon as Abi counts it and sees that everything is okay, Eddie is off the hook. And that's indeed the opinion of Rav. I'm a Rav. L'das, if Abi was aware, tzarech das, in order for Eddie to get off the hook, he has to let Abi know that he's returning it. Shaloi l'das, if Abi was unaware, then minyan paiter. If Abi took a count and found 29, the right amount, then Eddie is off the hook. That it's enough that Abi counted the sheep and the full amount was there, that's a sefer. That's in the case where Abi was unaware that Eddie stole. Shmuel says, Bein l'das, bein shaloi l'das, whether Abi knew about it, whether Abi didn't know about it, as long as Abi counts it and finds 29, minyan paiter. That Abi counted it and found the full amount, that's pater akula. It's going on the whole Mishnah. So, Rabbi Yochanan says, L'das, if Abi knew that it was stolen, minyan paiter, then it's enough if Abi counts it and finds that he has the full amount. Shaloi l'das, if he never knew about it, then ignorance is bliss, and it's enough for Eddie to return it, and that's enough. Afilu minyan nami lo yitzarech. And therefore, when it says that Abi counted it, it's going on the ratio. He counted the sheep and it was the full amount, that's going on the ratio. Rav Chisda says, l'das, if Abi was aware that it was stolen, so once he was aware that it was stolen, he knows that he has to watch the flock because an animal he knows that an animal has gotten used to, getting out. So then minyan paiter. Then it's enough if he sees he has the full amount. Shaloi ladas, but if he wasn't aware, then Eddie has to tell him, because he has to know that there was an animal that get used to wandering off. Sarach das. V'chit ketani monu es atzayin v'yishlema. That's enough if he counted it. That's our ratio where Abi knew about it already. Now, says the Gemara, Amar Rava. Rava says, now we need an explanation. Why is it that if Abi doesn't know about it, you have to tell him? Amar Rava, my time in Rav Krista. That's because Hoyel v'anketa nagre briyasa. It got used to wandering outside. He got used to taking footsteps outside, as we welcome in Aryeh Shechter joining us now, and Moshe Jacqueline for our 32nd Zoomer of the evening. Says the Gemara, Umiyama Rava Hachi. The Rava is saying the reason of Rav Chisda. So the Gemara says, did Rava say this? V'amar Rava, Hayman dechazia lechavre. If a man saw his friend, the agva imre me edre, Hayman dechazia lechavre. If somebody saw his friend, Eddie, the agva imre me edre day, that he lifted sheep from his flock, V'rama beikala, and Abi shouted at him, V'shadya, and so Eddie threw it down. But v'lo yada ihadre iloi hadre, but the owner didn't know if he returned it or not. Umeisai nignav, and it died or it was stolen. Chayev b'achri yusai. Now, doesn't that mean even in the case where Abi counted the number and found the full 29? And you see that even though he counted and it was money, it's not, Eddie's not off the hook. My love, Afal gave the money. Isn't that talking about even where Abi counted and saw that he has the full amount? And you see that it's not enough, but even if it was Lidas, you have to inform the Abi that he's returning it. Says, well, like the loy money. It's talking about where he didn't count it yet. But if once he counts it and he sees the full amount, Abi is off the hook. Says the Gemara, Miyama Rav Hachi. We got to go over the names over here. Rav is of the opinion that Ladas, if Abi knows about it, so then you have to inform him to be off the hook. If he didn't know about it, then it's enough for Abi to count. So the Gemara says, Miyama Rav Hachi. Did Rav say this? I v'amar Rav hirziru le'eder sheba midbar, in the event that Eddie returns it to a flock in the desert, yotza. Now, says the Gemara, now if he returned it to the flock in the desert, so Abi wasn't there, so he didn't count it, and he surely doesn't know about it, and yet it says that Eddie fulfilled his requirement. But according to Rav, if Abi knew it was stolen, Eddie has to tell him. If he didn't know it was stolen, then at least Abi has to count it. But here it's in the midbar, he does neither, and yet it says that Eddie fulfilled his requirement. So answers the Gemara, Rav Chanan bar Abba, Moide Rav birikaosa. Rav agrees in a case where it was a unique sheep. It was a sheep that was recognizable. It was recognizable because it had spots all over it. And that was, rikaosa means that it was polka dotted. It was spotted. And a spotted sheep, the shepherd knew that it came back, so that's enough. So the Gemara says this machloikis that we had, and we actually, it was a four-way machloikis, lema ketanoi. Let's say it's dependent on the following machloikis tanoi. Lema ketanoi. Hagoynef tlemina eder, Eddie steals a sheep from the flock, or v'selam in a kiss, or money from Abi's purse, l'mokum shegonav yarza. He has to return it from the place that he stole it. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Kiva says it's not enough for him to return it. Rabbi Kiva tzarich das bailam. He has to let Abi know. So the Gemara says, we know that Adam Korav Eitzam Amaynai. A person has a real kinship with his money. And a person is always counting the money in his pocket. He has a bunch of hundreds, he's always counting. He has $900. It's so Savrua the Kuli Alma Islu Reb Yitzchak. Everybody holds a Reb Yitzchak. That Adam Osi Lamashmesh Bekisai Bekolsha. A person has a habit of touching his wallet all the time to check on his money. And he's always counting his money. So my love besela ledas. Doesn't that mean, therefore, that Abi was aware that some of his money was missing? And therefore, the question of whether Eddie has to tell him or not is of a plukta de Rav Shmuel. And it's the machlokes of Rav and Shmuel. According to Rav, where Abi was aware it was Ladas, so then Eddie has to tell him. And that's the opinion of Rabbi Akiva, that Tzarech Das Bailan. According to Shmuel, who says it's enough that Abi counts it, so Abi's going to check and he finds out that the money is back, he has the full 900, so that's enough. And then Betleh, there's two cases mentioned over here. One is the case of stealing money, and one is the case of a sheep from the flock. And Betleh Shaloi B'das, so it's talking about where Abi was not aware that it was stolen, or Beplukta the Rav Chisda Rabbi Yochanan, and that's the argument between Rav Chisda and Rabbi Yochanan, because Rav Chisda is of the opinion that if it's Shaloi L'das, you have to tell Abi, because he has to know that this animal got used to wandering off, while Rabbi Yochanan holds that if it's what's Rabbi Yochanan Shita, but if it's Shaloi L'das, if Abi doesn't know, they don't even have to tell him. And therefore we have the four opinions in this brisa. So Amar Rav Zvid Mishmei de Rava, the Gemara says the second part, it's not necessarily so. Amar Rav Zvid Mishmei de Rava, B'gainev b'rishus bailim, when it's stolen from Abi's flock, Kuli almaloi pligi ki Rav Chisda. Everybody holds like Rav Chisda that we have to notify Abi. He has to know that his animal got into the habit of wandering. But Vahacha, here we're talking about a very interesting case. What are we talking about over here? B'shaymer sheganav mirishusai. Here we're talking about where Eddie had Abi had Eddie watch some of his flock. Abi thought that Eddie is a wandering Jew, and he's good at these things. So he gave sheep to Eddie to watch. And Eddie decided to take one of those sheep for himself. And then he had a hero tshuva and put it back. Is that considered, since Eddie is Abi's agent, is that considered when he put it back as if Abi knows about it? Or do we say once Eddie apprehended a sheep, Abi's trust in Eddie as being a shliach is completely lost? And therefore then Eddie has to tell Abi. And that, says the Gemara, is the machloikis in the second case. Let's see it inside. V'hacha b'shomer sheganav mirishusai, where Eddie, who is Abi's guardian, stole one of the sheep for himself. Sheyalze l'makom sheganav kamifli, is enough that he puts it back into the rest of the flock that he was watching. Rabbi Akiva Savar, once he stole, kol saloi shmirasei, Abi's trust in him is gone. And then he has to inform Abi about it. Rabbi Shmuel Savar loy kol saloi shmirasei, and therefore since he's Abi's agent, it's enough that he returns it. It's as if Abi knows about it. So now the Gemara says, the Gemara doesn't let us off the hook over here. Remember we said that there's a machloikis. If Eddie returns it and Abi counts it and he knows he had 29 sheep and now he sees that he has the full 29, is that enough to get Eddie off the hook? Or does he have to tell Abi that I returned it? So the Gemara says, let's suggest whether minyan paiter, whether the amount of sheep, Abi realizes he has a full amount, if that gets Eddie off the hook, is a machloikis tanoi. The Tanya, for we learned in a Braisa, hagoizel es chaveiroi. Now, Eddie stole money from Abi. I would change your locks, Abi. Abi is relieved that Eddie is going back to Eretz Yisrael. But Abi might be going to Eretz Yisrael soon, so watch out. If Eddie stole from Abi, and when giving back Abi money, he put in extra so that, he returned what he stole. Tani chada yatsa. One brisa says that he's yatsa. V'tani idach lo yatsa. And one brisa says that he's not yatsa. Now we assume that since Adam and Mashmesh b'kisei b'kolsha, Abi's going to realize he got extra. So he's going to realize that Eddie was returning him something. Or do we say that Eddie has to tell him? So Savrua, the Kuli Alma Yislu de Rabbi Yitzchak, everybody holds a Rabbi Yitzchak. The Amar Adam Asil Mashmish Bekisa because Shavasha. And therefore Abi is going to check and he's going to know that he got back extra. My love, V'hakamiflagi. The man, the Amar Yotza, that's enough, Savar Minyan Paiter. If you're aware that you got it back, you're aware that you got something back, you have the full amount, that's good. It's not enough. And he has to tell him, look, I stole it. Says Imre, no. Israel on Kreb Yitzchak, that Abi is aware, that would be enough. We're not sure that Abi realizes that he got back extra. Marius later Rabbi Yitzchak, Marius later Rabbi Yitzchak. Or the Iba Yisayim, the Kuli Alma Yislu Rabbi Yitzchak, V'loi kasha had the money v'ramalei b'kisei. If he gave it to him and Abi put it in his wallet, that's enough. Because Abi knows how much is in the wallet, and therefore he's going to know that he got back extra, and that's considered like he got the minyan, and that's enough. But where he counted and put it in Abi's hand, and Abi is going to take it in his hand and put it in his cash box in the house. Now, the cash box in the house, he doesn't know how much is there. So he'll never know that he was given back extra, so that's not enough. Both are talking about where he took it and put it in his wallet. But if he had other money in the wallet and it gets mixed up, then he's not going to know the cheshbon. then he's going to check and see Eddie gave him back more money that he owed him, and that's considered as if it was counted and saw the full amount, and that would be enough. Now, ready to start the new Mishnah here on a Wednesday evening. I'm still troubled. What happened to the whole group in the shul? Does anybody know where they are? Surprised. Gedalia doesn't usually.
I know tomorrow's at 9:15, Rabbi. Maybe they got mixed up.
They went to hockey game with Marshall.
I see boys. Zavram Zepkowitz.
Yeah.
There was no minion tonight at 7:45.
So
Nobody
what?
was there.
Oh, nobody was there for Minyan?
Nobody was there, no.
Wow.
Could it be because of weather?
I should say, there were four of us who came, but we did not have a minion.
Was Michal Avram there?
No, he wasn't.
And what about Reuven Shannon?
No, he was not there either.
Aha, so that's the oldest story in the book. The cat's away, the mice will play. And speaking about the neighborhood, here goes the neighborhood. Marshall, what happened? You thought it was 9:15 tonight?
No, I had a plumbing emergency.
Ay vey.
You know what? When your plumbing stops, the world stops. That's about
Ay
it.
vey, that sounds like one of my cases in the Gemara. Okay, it's mamish mida keneged mida for all the things that you do, all the people that you flush down the toilet. So now, new Mishnah on a wonderful Wednesday evening. Ein loitken. Now here, our Marshall came just in time to take Eddie off the hook. Eddie has been sweating terribly the whole evening.
That's what I smell. Okay.
Marshall is a shepherd. Now you can't trust these shepherds. So if Marshall as a shepherd wants to sell you things, you can't buy it from him. Because that means he's stealing from his owners. So, says the Mishnah, Ein loitken min arayim, you can't buy from a shepherd, tzemer, wool, the chalav, milk, ugdiyim, and kids meaning not human kids, but small goats. Because where does Marshall get that from? He doesn't have his own stuff. He's pilfering it from the people that he's working for. Likewise, if Marshall guards a field, you can't buy from him fruit or timber because he's pilfering it from the fields that he's guarding. V'loi, says the Mishnah, v'loi mishaymrei peiros, you can't buy, if he watches orchards, you can't buy from him eitzim upeiros, wood and fruit. Aval, loikin min anoshim, you could buy from women, klei tzemer b'Yehuda, wool in Yehuda, or klei pishtin b'Galil, linen in Galil, v'abgolim b'Sharon, and calves in Sharon. Because we don't say that the women are stealing it from their husbands, but rather that was, women used to do a certain amount of work, and in in the region of Yehuda, they worked with wool, and in the Galil, they worked with linen, and in Sharon, they used to take people's calves and break them in and raise them. However, the kulan she'amru lahatmin, but if they tell the buyer, I want you to go out in the house and put it in a bag. You know, they wanted it to be concealed, then also, because then it means they didn't want their husbands to see that they're taking it. However, even Marshall, this is martial law, even from Marshall, you could buy eggs and chickens. Because eggs and chickens are a very low profit margin, and it's not likely that they would go about stealing it. For like conveying v'tarnagayim, you could buy chicken, eggs and chicken, and you call makom. In any case, Now, says the Gemara, Tan Rabbanan, Ein loikhin min arayim, you can't buy from a shepherd, loy izim v'loy gediyim, you can't buy goats, kids, v'loy gizin, fleece, v'loy tlushin shel tzemer, or tufts of wool that were pulled out of the animal, because we assume that he's stealing it from the people that he's shepherding for. Avaloy kamem tfurin, but you could buy from him sewn clothing, because even if he stole it, he acquired it with Yish and Shinei Maisim, that belongs to Marshall. If he's shepherding animals in the desert, you could buy from him milk and cheese, because we assume that he's not going to return it to the owner every day from the desert. And there was no refrigeration, so therefore the owner turns that over to the shepherd. However, v'loy b'yishuv, not in the city, because there Marshall is expected to give back to the owner the milk and the cheese every night. V'loy kamem dalad v'heitzayin, you could buy from Marshall, the shepherd, 4 or 5 sheep, dalad v'heigizim, 4 or 5 fleece, because we assume that he would be afraid to sell so much, it would be noticeable. So therefore it must be his. But not 2 sheep and not 2 fleece. The Gemara is going to ask, what about 3? Rabbi Yehuda adds further. Baisais, domesticated animals that the owner is very aware of, like you could buy from Marshall, because if not for the fact that Marshall made it his own, he would be afraid to give it away because the owner knows about it. Midbariyos, but range animals that the owner doesn't have a full count, ain't like man. You can't buy from Marshall. Klolo shel davar. Kol she'araya meicher or balabayis margish by, whatever Marshall sells, and it's something that the balabayis would be aware of, so Marshall would be afraid unless it's his own, like man. You could buy it. Ain't margish by, if the owner is not aware of it, ain't like man. So now the Gemara says, let's analyze more about these situations. Amar, like Kamam, Dalad v'hei tzayin, Dalad v'hei gizin. 4 or 5 sheep, 4 or 5 fleece. Now, the question is, if you could buy 4, you surely could buy 5. So why does it have to say 4 or 5? If you could buy even 4, because Marshall would be afraid to sell so much, why do you have to say 5? So we have 2 pshatim. One pshat is Amrav Chisda Arba Mitay Chamisha. Marshall could sell 4 out of 5, because 4 out of 5, most of it would be missing. He'd be afraid to do that. V'ikida Amrei, no. Amrav Chisda Arba Me'eder cotton. You could buy from him 4 if it's a small flock. But if it's a big flock where 4 might not be noticed, the chamesh only 5 me'eder gadol. But now we have a different question. It says you could buy 4 or 5, but you can't buy 2. So from the Sefer it's mashma that you could buy 3. From the Reisha it says 4 or 5, it's mashma you can't buy 3. So the Gemara says, Gufa kasha. It's an internal contradiction. Amrit dal v'hei tzayin, dal v'hei gizin, 4 or 5 sheep, 4 or 5 fleece. Dal v'hei in, aval shalosh loy, but not 3. Aim a sefer, it says in the sefer, aval loy shtei tzayin, not 2 sheep. Mashma, but 3 yes. Ha shalosh zamninon. Says, loy kasha. Ha bivriyasa, one is talking about healthy ones. Ha b'kechishta, one is talking about emaciated ones. Healthy ones, you can not buy 2, but 3 you could buy. Emaciated ones, you could only buy 4 or 5, but not 3. For the final Gemara of the evening, getting ready for the Chumash, we'll do the Chumash first, and then the Mishnah Yomis. As we welcome in Mo Kushner, okay. Okay, Mo, it's good to have you. We did learn for you already Mo is having a surgery tomorrow, and we're learning from Moshe Yitzchak Halevi ben Nechama. Should have a refuah shalema b'seg shachar Yisrael. Mo,
Thank you, Rabbi.
Mo, we all wish you well.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
There's an amazing man coming in at late in the night before his surgery. So says the Gemara, Reb Yehuda Baisais loikim mehem, midbariyos ein loikim mehem. Domesticated animals you could buy, because the owner will know that it's missing, but range animals not. So Yibayelu, Reb Yehuda Areishakai, is Reb Yehuda going on the Reisha, Ulachumra, and he's saying you could only buy 4 or 5 if there's domesticated animals, but range animals you can't even buy 4 or 5. Oidilma Aseifakai Ulakula, and he's saying that even when we say you can't buy 2, that's only if it's range animals, but domesticated animals you can even buy 2. Says the Gemara, as the Gemara explains the Shaila, Areisha Kai, is it going on the Reisha L'chumra? When could you buy 4 or 5? That's only Hanimili Baisis. That's only domesticated animals that the owner knows what's going on with them. Aval Midbariyos, but range animals, Afilu Abba V'chamishaloi. Oy Dilma Aseifa Kai, it's going on the Seifa Ulakula, and it's going leniently. The Amar Avoloshte Sain Veloshte Gizen, not 2 sheep, not 2 fleece. When do we say not 2 sheep, not 2 fleece? That's only by range animals. Hani mila midbarius, avo baisais. But domesticated animals that the owner knows exactly what's going on, shtayim nami loikin. You could even buy 2. Tajma, so the Gemara is going to prove this conclusively. Tajma, the Tanya Reb Yehuda Aimer loikin baisais mehem. You could buy domesticated ones, ve'ein loikin midbarius, but not range animals. Or b'kol makom, even range animals, like Kimem Arba V'chamish Etzayin, 4 or 5 you could buy. So the Gemara says that's clear. Mida Amar B'kol Makom, in all cases, Shmami Na Seifa Kai, it's going on the Seifa or Lakula. In other words, where do we say that you cannot buy 2? That's range animals, but domesticated animals that the owner knows exactly what's going on, then you could buy even 2. Shmami Na. Now remember, Rabbi said tomorrow, a special night because I'm speaking here in Deerfield, so we will finish the Masechta at 9:15 tomorrow. 9:15, Shelley put it out. I know that Irving already put it out, but Shelley also, you put it out. Make sure everybody knows. Motzei Shabbos, where I'm going to be speaking of a busy Shabbos. I'm Skal residence in the Young Israel of Deerfield. I'm also speaking. Baruch Ian is sponsoring for me to speak in the Shtibel in Deerfield, so I'll be there for Shuddis, and I know that they keep 72 over there, so the shir will be at 8:15. Let's see, 72 will be about 7:32, 7:35. We'll finish. Yeah, I think I should be able to be back in my perch over here in the bungalow at 8:15. And we'll have the shir then. And now, Rabbi, say, don't go anywhere, don't pass go, don't collect $200, as we are going to learn the Chumash shir, a special Chumash shir. And Yisrael's taking off his hat and getting ready for the Chumash shir.